All right, we're gonna hop into the next map. It's gonna be Daybreak LE at the bottom left side. It is going to be from clan ATCM, ATGiant, and on the top side, Bell,
On the top side, we do have once again the Blue Moonrise from Maegis.
straight from, uh, straight
Straight from
from.
Game of Thrones, man.
There we go, Game of Thrones. Yes, that was actually one of the most exciting moments I had when I got back from vacation. I got to watch 3 episodes in a row. That was amazing.
Oh.
Yes, because
Well,
of course
I'm not even watching the episodes.
you're just reading the books.
Yeah, I'm just reading the books. I don't like, I tried to watch them, but everything is so freaking condensed and, you know, in the TV series as opposed to the books that I'm not enjoying the TV series at all. Like seriously, I'm not. Compared to
Oh,
the books, it's just like 10 or 20% of enjoyment I get out of the books compared to that.
it's what you hear a lot. Like I started watching the series. I didn't even know about the books, and then I read the books behind the series, and yeah, I enjoy the books and the series. Like in the books, you get a lot of backside info on what the people were thinking, why they did something, how they felt. You don't really
Yeah,
see that in the
yeah,
series.
that's the problem I had. That like I tried to imagine myself only watching the series without knowing all the additional information that you have in the books, and I found out that if I did not read the books before I started watching the series, I would probably not understand half the things that's going on because the characters are not as well shaped. Like, for example, the king, the boy king Joffrey.
Yes,
If you only watch the series, you kind of don't understand why he's behaving the way he's behaving.
true.
Like you
And
don't know.
you,
Like you see him and he's like, God, that guy is such a dick. But you kind of don't get why. You don't know what's his motivation. You just see like the characters are not really worked out that well as opposed to the books. And without the background info, you just don't have the full understanding of what's going on.
ah, that's true. I realized that as well after reading the books, and in the series, I just like the moments where he gets slapped. That was about it because he is an absolute ass in the series, of
Yeah, he
course.
is. He is.
Yeah. And in the books, it's more explained. You know a lot more about him because you actually get his point of view, and they can't do that in the TV series. It's just impossible, I think.
Well, they could if they would make the series longer, but 10 episodes, 10 1 hour episodes for a per book that has like 500 or 700 pages. That's really not enough. If every season had like 20 episodes, they could elaborate on the characters and the story a little bit more, and you would understand a lot more about what's going on and understand the world a little bit better. But they just decided to go for 10 episodes. Well, I understand it's cost effective financially, but it's not giving me too much joy. So, yeah.
It's how it always is. If you read the book first, you ruin the series. If you read the books later, you make the series more beautiful. I think that's
That's
really the
true.
way it is.
That's
That's the
true.
way it is.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We do see so far not too uncommon builds. AT Giant once again going for the Forge in base, pretty safe against any kind of early pool aggression. 3 bases coming up from Moonrise, so this is almost a mirror from last game. At the beginning of the game, we saw that I think who was it? AT Giant being a little bit upset with his opponent. In the chat, I heard that both of these guys were on busy, and Moonrise didn't respond because he didn't read the message because he
Oh,
wasn't busy. So that was what was going on. These guys are both pretty nice as far as I've seen in their matches and when I've talked to them. So I'm pretty sure that was not that much BM. What do you expect to see on Daybreak? It's a very familiar map, very familiar builds, and
um,
they should feel confident.
well, depends really on what the Zerg does in this situation. I mean, what the Protoss does in this situation. The Zerg can take the initiative if he wants to, but at the same time, it's like Daybreak. I feel it's really the map of the fourth. If you get the center fourth, and if you're playing Terran, if you get a planetary at the center, you're fine for the rest of the game. As a Zerg, if you get a fourth base in the center and manage to protect it with a lot of spawn crawlers, you're fine, and then you can do pretty much anything. And I feel like the same goes for Protoss with Colossi and Storm. So unless
Oh,
something crazy happens before we get to like 16-minute mark, then I really expect this to drag on for quite a bit.
if you get Storm and you get a fort base in the middle of the map, I feel like Tempest are also an ideal
Yep.
choice because you can start assaulting the fort base of your opponent.
Yeah,
Even if you
that's
only
true.
make like 3 Tempests, it's gonna be really annoying because you're gonna force the Zerg or the Terran, in this case Zerg, to engage you. And if he doesn't, he's gonna lose his fort. Really, really good. Like in this map, Tempests are actually very viable in the late game.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. So we already have a probe moving out. Gateways being added for Giant. He's on 4 right now, getting a Robo and a Twilight Console. So he's just kind of doing the very Wings of Liberty, very old build developed by Liquid Hero, a 4-gate +1 attack with a Twilight and a Robo follow-up. But this time, Moonrise being really smart about it, just producing Lings, because he did get a good scout on his opponent. So he made Lings just in time. The Roach Warren was a little bit sooner than it had to have been. But still very safe, and thanks to getting that scout, knowing what is going on, timing of the gases, he produced Lings just in time. There are a couple of Zealots trying to harass the third base, but that's not going to last very long. They might get a Queen though.
Yep, Moonrise, however, losing a lot of Overlords. Scouting with 2 in the main base. He's gonna probably lose that one over there unless the Zealot decides it's not a good idea for the Stalker to move out. But did get supply block for a little bit there with the Scouting Overlords. Didn't produce them in time, I feel like. But so far, I feel like Moonrise, however, knows what's going on and is really ahead in this game. Now, there are going to be some War Prisms on the field, and I don't know about that, because you can see that the Zerg is positioning his army in the middle of the map, scouting for pylons. So if he doesn't see that War Prism moving out, could do a lot of damage in the main base. But he's going to see it. He already saw it with the links. Yeah, he clicked on it. That's really bad for Giant.
Yeah, and Giant is like going every which way. He's not been producing probes for a very long time. He's just staying on 2-base economy. He's getting War Prisms. He's getting DTs. He's getting Colossi. He's getting everything. I don't really. This is like the get everything build, and you know what happens with get everything builds?
You get nothing.
Yeah, you get nothing because you get killed usually.
Yep, I've seen Grubby do it. 1 of everything. He did it on a stream. He managed
Yeah,
to win,
that
one
didn't
of the
work
games,
out so well.
But usually, 9 out of 10 times, even that failed, and that's with Grubby control. So I don't see Giant doing this. No offense. There's gonna be a War Prism at the third base. It's gonna get denied immediately. The 3 Zealots evacuating, losing 1 of their friends. There's also gonna be 4 Zealots moving into the main base, but I think Moonrise is on top of this. He's already making a Spine and a Spore, and he should be able to react in time.
Yeah, well, he is trying to go for a scout with a Changeling, missing the War Prism in his main base, but right now does see the Zealots, pulls the army back. The Zealots are going to get the Spore Crawler, maybe get the Queen. I don't really think they will, though, because the Zerglings are back just in time. 3 of those Zealots being stuck there, but getting evacuated just in time. Still no third base. I think Giant really does not like doing 3-base builds.
Nope, but at least he has the chance to get 1 of everything. He has 1 Colossus, 1 Immortal, and also has a few Sentries, Stalkers, and Zealots. He's gonna follow that up with... I don't know, actually. He has a DT Shrine, so he could try and do some DT harassment. I feel like he wants to get a stir base, but I don't think he has the army to actually defend that in this position.
I don't think he has, actually. He needs to warp in a lot more sentries. He only has 3 here. And those have, or will have very shortly, 2 force fields apiece. I don't think it will be enough versus the army Moonrise has here. There's a lot of roaches, a lot of lings. Nice force fields. Moonrise not waiting until the entirety of his army is there to fight. But even so, look at this. These roaches are just going to take care of the Zealots. And once those force fields fall, it should be Curtain's Stalker warp in for Giant. Moonrise pulling back prematurely there, I feel like. He definitely could have taken on that army, in my opinion.
Yep, after his sick Overseer flank died, he moved back. But there are also going to be some Mutas flying into the main base, and Giant completely unprepared for this battle.
Yeah, he completely is. We also have DTs being warped in the main base of Maegis.Moonrise. There is a Spore Cooler and a Spine, so that will take care of that. Meanwhile, the Mutalisks are doing damage to the main mineral line of the Protoss. He needs to defend that one, pulling only his Stalkers. He knows those Roaches and Lings are somewhere out on the map still. The third base being attacked by Zealot's DT as well, and is going to go down.
Yeah, that third base going down is actually a really big deal for Giant right now, because Giant can get back into this game by killing that. The DT doing a lot of damage there, even killing some of the larvae and the eggs. Yeah, I don't know about this. Moonrise is still very much ahead in army supply, but he needs to reestablish that base. That will give Giant some breathing room and could potentially take his third base as well. But if we check the income tab right now, he's not that far behind in probes either. He killed a lot of drones there, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. Let's check. We have 48 probes, 52 drones. The Mutalisks still doing damage, and the workers killed 17 for Moonrise, 7 for Giant. So Giant not killing a whole lot of workers. He did get one hatch, but doesn't matter. Oh!
We're gonna have a run by here. Well, at least gonna try and kill the Cybernetics core, which is gonna be really big. No more Stalkers after that. And also might target down some of these gateways. Nope. Kind of pull back, but that's still a really good snipe getting the Samurai score. And the Mutas in the main base killing some probes.
They're continuing to just poke in and back. I really like what Moonrise is doing with those Mutas. He just has a couple of them just for the purpose of trying to bring down the economy of Giant. And Giant is on the clock, but I feel this is really similar to the previous game. The third is going to be denied yet again by the same Zealots and the same DTs from the War Prism, because the Corruptors managed to slack off on the job and not pursue it far enough to the corner of the base to kill it. And I think this is a repeat of Game 1. Look at the upgrades. Again, lack of upgrades for the Zerg. He's on 1-1 just now, getting +2/+2, while +3 attacks are already on the way for the Protoss. As well, the lateness of the third base, or lack thereof, for Giant. This is very similar to Game 1. And look at the food supplies, 180 for Moonrise versus 116 for the Protoss, and he doesn't have any bank. He doesn't have any income to reproduce.
Giant's army composition, it's a lot better this time around though.
Yeah, it is. He does have 3 Colossi, so he'll be able to kill Hydras and Lynx very fast. Speaking of which, no Hydras this time in this composition for Moonrise. He's just going Roach, Ling, Muta.
Probably better though. If you think about it, there's Colossus and Archons on the field right now. Can shred through those Hydras quite quickly, especially with the fact that his damage upgrades are higher. The Colossus can kill Hydras in 2 swoops, I think, or something. 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So 2 or 3.
The Mutalisks trying to find an opening yet again. And, well, Giant still not really taking a third base. His main should be mined out at this point, almost. Yeah, only 100 minerals or something remaining on the mineral patches. I don't know. I think his only chance is to kill Moonrise in one swift attack. If he doesn't, oh my God, is the Cybernetics going to be killed yet again? What the hell?
No. The Photon Overcharge is gonna save it, but that would have been devastating for a Giant right there. But there is gonna be a push from Giant. Gonna be a big push out. All of his army is there now. Keep in mind the Zerg supply is mostly in Roaches. So these Archons and Colossus are key to getting Giant back into this game. It looks like it's going to be a counterattack from Moonrise though, going for the base trade. I don't know if that's the best decision. I think he's hesitating as well. Now this position I would say favors the Protoss a little bit on the small ramp.
Moonrise needs to engage out in the open where he can kite a little bit and
losing all the Mutas though.
fields.
And here we go, big engagement, decent spread from both players, but once again I feel like ATGiant is in a better position. The force fields are good as well, keeping a lot of the units choked up on the ramp. The Corruptors, however, killing these Colossus quite quickly, but you see the army supply dropping for both players. And I think right now Giant's getting a little bit of a better amp, but the force fields end up and
I think it's going to end up quite well for Moonrise with the remax on the Roaches. There are Stalkers, but 2 Roaches plus 3 Stalkers as well. It's going to depend on the detection.
Yep, DT is cleaning it up. That was a really close engagement. Once the force fields popped away, the Zerg really got some nice hits off as well. Now we do have Roaches being constructed. The third base being re-established by Moonrise, but I feel like if Giant goes right now, he might actually do this.
Yeah, if he goes now before the Zerg remaxes, he might kill him. But again, Moonrise has to engage out in the open. to mitigate the damage from the Archons, the splash damage. And, well, if he loses this third for the third time right now, that could be game over for him at this stage in the game.
Yep, it looks like for the first time ATGiant feels confident taking an expansion, but one Mutalisk is gonna be the bane of that Nexus. Yeah, we have some Roaches, but we still have, let's see, 2 Force Fields and Archons. So I think this is gonna be really one-sided here. And that means that this could be 1-1 tying up the series for a Giant here. Let's see.
Yeah, it could be.
Nice
Usually you kite in with the Roaches. You can't really do that when there are Archons you're kiting into. But again, no blink, so those Stalkers not being able to kite. Not that it matters. +3 attack is just too big, and there are not too many Roaches remaining. But the Lings
gonna speed this up actually, and the Queens are also doing a really good job throwing down some transfuses, helping in the DPS. Now we got Infestors on the field. I think that once again Moonrise is gonna just clutch his way out of this.
Yeah, he is. And I really have to say, if Giant learns to take a third base, or just starts preferring taking a third base faster, like way faster, then you know, with his build, if he makes it work with 3 base, then he will have a very strong strategy. But as it is, I mean, both of these games, I feel like he lost on account of not having enough incon. Look at the distance mining here for the probes. That's like his main and the natural are mined out, and he's distance mining with all of his 45 probes.
We're gonna have to see though. These Infestors are gonna change a lot during this fight. Good fungal, really good fungal, and I think
that should be game.
Will be the deciding factor. No armor upgrades from the Protoss players, so these Infested Terrans are still really good, cleaning that up. And GG from ATGiant saying well played.
So
yeah, there was a little bit of
BM, I guess.
Oh, yep, and some dancing as well. Some dancing. I don't think that's gonna help. Don't think that's gonna help, but it's okay. Giant played like a giant during the whole DSCL tour. He went from just barely qualifying to doing a really good run in the DSCL. Thank you so much for participating. And yeah, his opponent will go on